Hey everybody, I'm Bridget and I want to show you in this video part 2 of how I'm building that 70s show basement in miniature. This is the scene itself. It's still in its rough stages because we actually don't have the specific couch and furniture. We just finished the electrical and just finished the woodworking at the top of the basement. So let me give you a little more details on how I got to this part 2, and we're still not finished, so you can subscribe. There'll be a part 3 and 4 and you can see the whole process.
So let's start out with this little far right corner. There's some stairs that are behind the door, and we're gonna make those out of the foam core pieces and then hot glue them in because we're gonna have to add some concrete to these before we add our wall in. So next steps, let's go to the electricity once these are glued in. Here's the little electrical plug I like to use. I buy these on eBay. Here's the model number, and it's really good for 12-volt Dollhouse lights, and it comes with a little plug built in, and you just have to buy this little adapter that it can plug into, and straight into the adapter you see the two little screws where you put the wire in on each end and you can open and close it. These are called DC power connectors female. They're linked in my LTK, which has all of my links, and this is also from eBay. I really like these light bulbs. They're 12-volt LEDs. They're very bright, and you can just snap them off and individually glue them and use them. You just have to strip the little ends of the wires. Here you can see 12 to 18 volt DC. They work really well with this whole lighting system, and they're pretty bright, and I like to glue them to the ceiling of most of my projects. So here's the very back side of the box. There's some wood here and some foam, and I'm just gonna glue this little part onto the back where we could plug in the wire, and the glue goes on the part where you don't see the little screws because you're gonna need to open and close those to add the wire to each side. So I'm gonna put a generous amount of hot glue just on this little top part. We're gonna glue it to somewhere on the back where we could still pull the little plug off if we want to take it off. And we're going to hold that for a bit. We could add a little bit of tape and glue over it afterward, but you could see it's easy to plug and unplug right here. So these steps are complete for now, but the next steps for electricity are to get your dollhouse wire, and up close you're going to see that there's two together. So you're going to get your scissors and cut a little bit on the end right in the middle, and you could just tear them apart very carefully, about 1/2 inch or a little bit more. And we're going to have to strip each side of the wire. They sell specialized wire strippers so you don't cut the wire. Let's cut these apart on both ends first. Very easy, just be very careful not to cut the wires. And now we're gonna peel and strip the edges so that we can connect them. That was pretty easy, but a wire stripper really helps so that you don't cut the tiny wires. Sometimes there's little bundles of wires and you wanna make sure they're still there so you could twist them together. This was a little tricky with the scissors, but I was able to pull off the edges on both sides. Now that we're finished with that step, I'm going to fold the ends a little bit very carefully so that it's easier to put them inside of the plug under the little screws. So I have a screwdriver. You can see it's taped with some hot glue. This is a jeweler's screwdriver, very small, and we can open up the little screws, turn them to the left, which pushes them all the way out, opens up the little area inside, which pinches. So now that it's open, we can carefully insert one side, one wire, the other side, the other wire. It doesn't matter which side at this point. And then once you press in, close it up, screw it to the right very, very tightly, both sides, and give it a gentle tug. Make sure it has clamped down and they are secured. And I made a little hole in my styrofoam. Here we go, put that right through. And now we can add some black tape to this just to clean it up and so that it doesn't fall apart. This is a tape, it's almost like a painter's tape. It comes off very easily, so if you want to add some glue to it to have it hold permanently or just tape it for now. The wiring can get a little complicated, so this just helps everything stay into place and you know where you're working. Perfect. Press down on that. And now we're going into the inside. You could see the wire that I put through that little hole. Let's start with one of the first LED lights. Each side has already been stripped, and you're going to twist together one of the black with the white and the other side as well, and make sure it's twisted nicely and tightly so that we can make that connection. And remember that this is not plugged into electricity yet. You don't want to work with a plug that is active. You don't want these on while you're working. You want to make sure nothing is plugged into the outlet. So let's twist these together carefully and make sure that they are together. And then once we're done with that, we could add a little bit of blue tape to one side because we don't want them touching each other. The metal cannot touch each other or it will turn off or short. So now we can plug it in and test it and see if this works. So we turned it on. Now it's not turning on because this light specifically needs to be reversed. So some lights, it doesn't matter what side wire is plugged into which side. So I had to switch them and it worked. So what make sure you switch them is untwist the wires and just flip the wires. So that now that we know this is working, I'm going to get extra wire to add more lights. But I want to make sure I turn off this existing light. We're going to unplug it. We don't want any active electricity while we're working. So I'm going to peel off this painter's tape. And now that we've stripped a new set of plain wire, we're going to twist that together while our other light is still also twisted to this. And this is sort of an extension, and it's going to allow us to add more light bulbs. I'm going to glue the back to the wall because it's going to start getting messy and complicated, and I'm going to put some of that black tape. It was convenient that the black tape matched the back of the wall, so it helped make it look clean. Now I'm going to test this light first, make sure I get the wires on the correct side so that they're working. So I touch one side to each. Yep, it's working. So we could remember those sides and twist them together carefully. And remember not to let the white wires touch, keep them separate. Use the blue tape if you have to so that they don't touch each other. Later on, you can glue or put glue over the little blue tape in case you want to permanently leave it and not have it fall apart. This is the ceiling, so I'm adding one light to the ceiling. A tiny bit of hot glue is okay, not too much because it can damage some lights. And here's another one of these flat LEDs. It's not on, so I can put a little bit of hot glue, and it's going to make it look like there is light outside of this window, which is on the left side of the box. I carefully held it in place and then figured I could glue the wire behind it and push it through a hole, connect it to the rest of my electricity. This will make it look like there's a window with light on the left. It's going to look cool once I hide all of the wires. Here's the little hole. Nothing is active, nothing is plugged in right now, so I could push all the wires through. Pushing the wire through could be a little bit tricky, especially when they're stripped with little wires, so I fold it, then I can push it through. And then take the wall out, which has not been glued in, and we can pull the wire through. This way we could glue all the wires in the back, and we can glue the walls in after. But we're starting to get electricity to the left side, and we can hide the wires easily this way. These were having a little bit of trouble going through because of the tape, so I removed the tape, then pulled the wires through, and then put tape on again. Here's kind of the idea. The light will be behind it, and it will have some sort of glass on the window, but it'll be plexiglass. So on the right, there's also another window, so I hid the wiring by cutting a little channel in the wall very carefully, not to go all the way through, but just enough so I could hide the wire inside of it with some hot glue. I hot glued it into place and connected it, and then I can add some of that black tape to hide it. It was very nice because afterwards I could add concrete over it and no one will know it's there because it's flat. And there's the other wire that can be taped up and hidden after. There's another small light that is hanging by the stairs. I have a bag full of really cute dollhouse lights that have tiny light bulbs that you could screw in just like a real one from an attic. Here you can see they're 12-volt lights. They also come with a little plug. You can use these plugs, but I don't. I just wire everything by taking the wire, cutting this little edge off, and I strip the wire and I connect it my own way. Everyone has different ways of doing electrical. This is how I do it. So this little light bulb will be hanging, and I wanted it to look like it had a cord. So I glued a tiny piece of thread that looked like a cord onto the side. This is not an active plugged in wire or light. The glue was warm at this point, so it was okay to touch. Now this is starting to look like a little light bulb hanging from an attic. I taped it to the ceiling just to check the height and painted the wire black so that it looked a little more realistic. We also have on this side a very special looking lamp. I don't have a lamp that looks like this, so I'm going to have to make my own. It goes right above the washer and dryer. I have a bag full of parts that are broken lamps, and I have a nice little LED from Evans Designs Train Shop. This fits nicely inside of this part, but I am going to have to add other components so that the wire does not fall through. This is a bag full of parts that I've collected from electrical and lamps that didn't work. I'm trying out different parts to see which one I could use so it'll hold the light bulb in the center. I found this nice little glass hurricane. It came with a little bit of a light cream colored white, and this part, the light bulb seemed to fit just fine. I did have to gently press it in because this is real glass and it's very small and delicate, and I don't want to break the light bulb or the glass, so I just gently pressed it in. I also added other components, and it looks like this might fit just right, so I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue, not too much. So this will hold them both together, and it seems that this fits perfectly in this little spot, and it'll hold the light bulb. So let's add a tiny bit of glue. There are other glues you could use. I just decided to use hot glue for this demonstration. I think this is starting to look really nice, really close to the actual thing, but it does need a couple more parts, and I think we're almost done. I'm going to add a tiny bit of glue to this last part, and then we're going to test it out and see if it works. It looks really nice. Now let's hang it and make sure it's the right height, because it does have to go pretty close to the washer and dryer. So I'm going to have to possibly add an extension, but double checking, making sure the little light works. So it does work, it's just way too tall, way too high up, so we're going to have to add an extension, but I think it looks pretty good. It looks pretty close to this light. Here's what the lighting looks like before I add any of the concrete. It's looking really good, it's bright enough, and now we can move on to a couple other details, like the shower needed to be aged, and then I added a lot of Elmer's glue after just to fill the grout, and it looked pretty cool. So next there's going to be concrete all over the floor and walls, so we're going to have to come up with something to mix, and I think the spackle that I have with some gray paint, maybe some Elmer's, should work. I did make a couple of mistakes here because I added a whole lot of Elmer's glue and it kind of started drying and clumping, but that's what I do. I do trial and error and see what works. So I had some gray paint and I added some gray acrylic paint. That wasn't going to be enough, so I just poured a bunch in and then mixed it, because we're going to need to spread out a lot of this in this whole scene. It's mostly concrete in this basement. And as you could see, I started mixing and you could tell it was not mixing very well, and the color needed a little bit of brown in it to look like concrete. So I kept adding water and other colors, but I was not happy with the final texture. I think it's because I should have added the paint first. But then I tested it out and it sort of worked out. I just needed to spread it thin, wait for it to dry a bit, and I just spent a lot of time doing this. It could have been that whole afternoon just putting this concrete all on the ground, all across. And then when it started drying, I used a little credit card that I cut, a hotel room key I think it was, and just started spreading it out more to flatten it out. The texture was not the best, but I kept pressing really hard and flattening it. We also needed to add it on this staircase before we add that wall in, because the wall is not going to let us get back there very easy. So we need to do the stairs before we glue in that wall. I sped up this process just to give you an idea that it does take a lot of work, But it's pretty satisfying in the end when you get it smoothed out. And we did that whole area, and now we're gonna do a little bit of the edges because since it's a basement, I thought it would look cool going all the way around the edges. My fingers did get very dirty during this process. So we did the whole rest of the basement, and I drew some little lines with the credit card. I did this side wall before I glued it in because I knew it would be hard to access it because once it's in, you can't access these little corners very well. So I did this while it was out, let it dry before I glued it in. But this was fun. It looked good. It looked like the texture was a little too thick for me though. I wasn't very satisfied, so I drew the lines and then was thinking of sanding it or maybe adding more. But while it was drying, I had this really cool glass paint. This was clear, and I'm gonna add it to the little plexiglass on the window and just completely fill it. And it's gonna look really cool once it's dry. It's gonna dry clear. So I'm gonna completely fill this, and when it dries, it's gonna look really cool. It's gonna look like old aged glass. This is the clear. Even though it's white, it dries clear. You could read the bottle just to see what color it is. So I'm finishing up the concrete. It took me quite a while, but I wanted to be careful, and I'm sure this will be covered in furniture and posters, but I'm trying my best to make it look like the lines from the sitcom. But I wasn't always satisfied, so I went ahead and got some other kind of spackle. It's pink, but it dries white, so it won't be pink in the end. I mixed it with the same gray color in a little cup, and I added another coat of it over the dried concrete because I wanted to smooth it out. I felt like the texture was just too gritty, too thick. So I spent another extra evening the day after just smoothing out all of the concrete. And by the end of the night, I was tired and I just used my finger, and it was wild, but it looked good in the end afterwards. So bear with me. Here's what it's looking like while it's dry, and check out this window. It looks so cool. It looks like old aged glass. It's almost completely dry and we can glue it in. That one's gonna go on the right. I'll probably use hot glue. We also have this edge along the top edge, which I'm just gonna paint it all black. We are gonna have wood up there, but not completely all the way to the top. So I'm just gonna use acrylic paint. And we're gonna add our aged door, which looks so cool. And behind it, you could see there's the concrete steps. Very nice, just like in the show. And we're gonna paint this little cubby with a little bit of a light gray just so that it's not totally white. And then we can glue our window with hot glue. It's gonna look so cool, a little more realistic than just plain white. And this one goes to the left, and I already added the hot glue, so it should stay perfect. And now we will move on to the next part, the wood. And this is very thin wood. You could even cut it with scissors, but I'm gonna use hot glue so it doesn't warp when I stain it. But we're gonna put wood trim all along the edge of the top. These were all measured and cut before I glued them. I added a lot of extra glue on the edges and finally glued these to the top edge. All the concrete spackle is dry. All these parts have been pre-cut and measured. And then we're also gonna add some little tiny details with our easy cutter. This is gonna go along the bottom edge. Sometimes I use wood glue for these, sometimes hot glue. I recommend wood glue. I went along and added little wood bits all along the edge, and they were actually popsicle sticks or coffee stirs. I had a bag of these, and I just cut them to fit, added the wood glue. This is a thick wood glue, so it's not the thin, runny kind, and we're gonna add the trim along the edge, and everything was finally glued and dried. This was the next day, and I stained it, so it wasn't a very dark stain. It was like a medium color stain, and I'm just gonna sit and stain the whole thing and then let that dry overnight, maybe put a fan on it. And for part 3, I will move on to the next parts of this project, which will be furniture and posters and all of the little props. So don't forget to subscribe and like and leave me a comment and tell me what you want to see built next. I have a lot of projects I have not filmed yet, so I'm in process of posting it. And thank you for watching.